Well, hello, Journey family. Happy Thursday, November 6th. I'm sure that this has been a crazy week for everyone, but I'm glad that we get to spend some time together and hopefully be encouraged by God's Word. Now, we're going to be going through 3 verses today that I find particularly encouraging and have always been so near and dear to me. So if you could turn to Revelation chapter 21, verses 3 through 5, we're going to be reading that today and hopefully getting some encouragement. So it says this, "And I heard a loud voice saying from the throne, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them, and he will be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away.' He who is seated on the throne said, 'I am making everything new.' Then he said, 'Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true.'" I love the descriptive language in this little bit of verses right here. This passage is just so chock full of different characteristics of God that I just find to be so lovely. They're some of my favorite things about God. And 2 in particular always stand out to me, that being that God always desires to be close to us, and God is a God of restoration. So in particular, when I read these verses and I see that God will be dwelling among his people, meaning that he's choosing to actively live amongst his people. It's not just he's going to come by and visit sometimes, or he's going to choose to be here and there every once in a while. No, he's living with us. He's choosing to be here, dwelling with us, communing with us. And the other part of that is seeing that God will wipe away your tears. Right now, it's super weird to think about touch, which is so sad to me because I'm a physical touch person through and through. I love embracing people, snuggling with my friends. I love hugging my family members and being around people, like even just in confined spaces. And obviously we don't get to do that right now. There's space limitations on things. We can't really be hugging people and getting all up in their personal space. And so I know that that's kind of weird to think about right now, but imagine how close and intimate that is. That the God of the universe, the one who made you, who is all-powerful, is going to take the time to be intimately close to you, right with you, close enough to physically wipe away your tears. And what's more, there's a lot of really great imagery in here saying that there will be no more death or mourning, no more crying or pain. And I see that as God removing the things that kind of separate us from him. The things like death that are the antithesis of life, is us not experiencing the truth of who Jesus is. Mourning, where God still commands us to mourn with those who mourn here on earth now, but that will no longer be something that we have to endure together. There will be no more pain. And that brings us to the next part of this, where God is restorative. Right now, I believe that we all could use a lot of restoration. Between the super weird political climate, as well as the fact that we're trying to survive a global pandemic together, I don't know what sounds better to anyone than a completely restored earth. And God promises that to us. Not only does he promise that he will be with us, and that there will be an intimate moment of us being able to be with him and commune with him, but he is going to decide to make it so that everything is new, that we experience new life in him. Remember back to the time when you first decided to follow Jesus. How sweet did that feel, to decide to go from death to life? I'm gonna guess that it was pretty good. So just think of that, but tenfold, because you get to do it with everyone in your life, and you get to experience that joy of what it is to be in the kingdom. And I know that that concept might be kind of weird to think about, especially since we, as Christians, very much have to think about living in the here and now. We have to think about serving people here while we are on earth. We have to think about serving people and bringing our idea of what truth is, what we know to be truth, to those around us in order that they can experience who Jesus is in their lives. And I know that then thinking about what we have hope in the future, those two things kind of rub up against each other. But I would say that they're the same. That we do the things that we do here and now as a result of the pretty real and very true hope that we have for who Jesus is in our lives. For the fact that we know that he will be with us, that there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we get to experience his presence. And why wouldn't we want to bring people into that? So I encourage you as you go on in your week to think about a couple of things here. I want you to maybe think about what you are doing right now to be close and intimate with the Lord. How are you striving to draw near to him so that you can experience his presence in your life right now, where things might feel a little bit, distancing from God? And the other thing that I invite you to think about is, how are you using the hope that you have in where we are going and where the kingdom is going to inform, perhaps, the way that you are serving people here and now? So 2 things. How are you striving to be close to the Lord? And how is the hope that you have informing the way that you serve people here and now? So think on those things. Be close to the Lord. Choose to have those intimate moments and rest with him during this time where nothing feels restful. I invite you to have a really great rest of your week and really enjoy some time with the Lord. Love you, Journey family.